If you're all set, then this is People of the State of Michigan versus Tori Crusoe, docket numbers 20-791FC and 20-792FH. Hello, Mr. Crusoe.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm all right, thank
We
you.
haven't met yet, so it's a little unusual because you pled in district court. Hold on. This is the time set for sentencing. Mr. Crusoe, you were convicted in the first file of carrying a concealed weapon, a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison, and possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony punishable by 2 years in prison that runs at the same time as the CCW. And then in the second file, you were convicted of carrying a concealed weapon, a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison. And you have the right to be represented by an attorney. You are represented by Mr. Sturdivant. And Mr. Sturdivant, obviously, you've had a chance to go through the pre-sentence report with your client, right?
That's correct, Your Honor. And other than we have no additions, corrections, or deletions other than the ones already made by Your Honor based on our emails.
Okay, and
Mr. Stevens.
Mr. Stevens, did you read those and are they okay with you?
I did read them and we did communicate. I believe we are in agreement on all of them. But let me go back to the emails to make sure. This is why I have them.
I think the main one you need to look at was the guidelines. So he made an accurate point that he's not convicted of that many concurrent felonies, or not that many were dismissed because there was an alternative charge.
Yeah, in reference to OV12.
Your Honor, if I may, OV12, I'm withdrawing my objection to how that's scored.
Oh, okay.
But I think Mr. Stevens and I are in agreement regarding OV19 should be scored at 0 rather than 10 points.
Yeah, I forget which one that one was.
OV19 is interfering with the administration of justice.
Oh, right, that was scored wrong.
It's only scored on 791.
Yeah. Okay, I whited out OV12, and now I don't remember what it was originally.
So OV12 was scored at 5. I
Okay.
objected to 1, but I'm retracting that objection.
Okay.
So 5, and then OV19, 0.
Got it. And is OV12 then should be scored on both of them, right?
No,
Sorry.
So they're separate dates.
Oh, okay, got it. Yep, I forgot that. Okay, so back to 791, that docket number, that takes the total OVs.
Well, sorry, I had a couple other corrections.
Oh, go ahead.
First, PRV 7 is scored at 0.
Yes.
Because he's convicted of 2 CCW offenses, that should be 10. Those would be contemporaneous felonies.
Mr. Sturdivant, do you have any objection to that? It's hard to argue against that one, right?
Hard to argue against that one, that's correct. So,
And of course,
I'll leave it to the court's discretion.
Yeah, I think that's just simple math, and then that applies on both the guidelines. Okay, I got that. Any others, Mr. Stevens?
Actually 2 others. OB1, which is aggravated use of a weapon, is scored at 15. But this case actually involved the discharge of that firearm at a person. It was an instance where Mr. Crusoe shot at the vehicle driven by the victim, Mr. Winbush. There's actually bullet holes in the vehicle as he was driving by. 25 points is on only one reflects a firearm when discharged at or toward the human being where the victim was cut or stabbed. Obviously, the last part isn't applicable, but the first part is. So people would move that only one, which would be 25.
Okay, Mr. Sturdivant?
I'm sorry, I had my client in my ear for a moment.
No.
On OB1, he's arguing for 25, is that correct?
Right, because firearm discharged at or toward a human being.
And I will also say this, despite all the changes that I have, which is just one more, the guidelines do not change.
Yeah,
They
that,
ultimately land at 0 to 17.
Okay, I just don't understand. The Supreme Court says you can't score acquitted behavior, but if it's dismissed as part of a plea bargain, that case doesn't apply. I've never understood the parameters of that case.
Is it not Coleman? I'm sorry, I'm forgetting.
No, I forget the name of it. I just know I got reversed under it. I mean, it applies to a jury acquitting someone, so I guess we're gonna say it doesn't apply.
Yeah, this case, Your Honor, Mr. Crusoe wasn't acquitted, and I believe the factual basis we laid on the district court would meet the factual basis for the 25 points. The court's inclined to follow the agreement between the people and the defense, then I would have no objection. I will leave it at the court's discretion, rather.
Okay, OV1 is 25. And is that just on one file, Mr. Stevens?
That is only on the 791.
Yeah, okay, that's how I have it. And do you have it?
The last change would be OB 16. It's currently scored at 1.0.
I assume no objection, Mr. Sturtevant.
Yeah, no objection.
And that would be on,
791.
oh, they already scored it 0 correctly on the other one. Okay.
Correct.
All right, so now, first of all, on 791, we've got 20 now on PRVs, right?
Correct.
Correct.
And it doesn't change it? The PRV level?
No, it remains a C.
That's correct.
Okay, and then on OVs, we've got 30.
Correct.
Oh, okay, so obviously that's not gonna change. So we're still at a C3, 0 to 17. It's still sort of academic. But nevertheless, we wanna score them correctly. Any other changes to the report or, changes to the report, Mr. Stevens?
No additional changes by the report.
Okay, I just want to say again that the email with the other changes, I did carry those out. So basically, the cover page, I added in all counts run concurrently by law. I mean, it's really
Right.
not part of the plea agreement, it is by law. So I added that. On the next page, I changed all the consecutives to concurrent. And then on page, unnumbered page, right before agent's description of the offense, I changed the consecutively's to concurrent. And then on the page under marriage, I made all those, the name change and the age changes that Mr. Sturtevant had requested. Interestingly enough, the BIR said no to consecutive sentences. I think that's because it's programmed that way, so their program knows better than they do, but I did tell them in the future that this is by law, concurrent. And that takes us through, I think, all of our changes, and did the people wish to be heard?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mr. Sturtevant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Crusoe comes before the court. Obviously, I'm confident that the court has read the pre-sentence report, so the court's aware of what the underlying situation was with Mr. Crusoe. And, in speaking with Mr. Crusoe, he understands, the situation he was in was not something he should have put himself in, and that, the actions he took were not the correct ones. The actions he should have taken were to call the police, based on the harassment of his family and himself by the victim. That being said, Your Honor, I ask the court follow the agreement and follow the recommendation by probation, except for the consecutive sentence part.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Crusoe, anything that you wanted to say?
I'll just take full responsibility for my actions, and I'm just ready to get this behind me so I can get back to my children.
Okay. Well, you have plenty of life left ahead of you.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is very unfortunate that your first felony conviction is one sending you to the Department of Corrections. That's very unfortunate. But I can tell you the whole reason this happened has to do with from your neck up. It's what you have in your head.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's something you can work on, hopefully with programming, because, I mean, everyone can benefit from something like that, but you in particular, because it's all about, you know, how you think and how you make decisions. And this was a very, very poor decision, and look at the consequences.
I definitely regret it for my children.
Yes, yes. And your children deserve better, you know, they deserve to have you, so.
Oh no, I'm a great father. I just made a poor decision.
A very poor decision, but again, it's about how you think. I
Yes,
mean,
ma'am.
it
Exactly.
totally changed how you acted. And so you change how you think in the future, it can change how you act. You don't have to react to every situation.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, you can be a man and say, hey, I can process this, I can think about it, I can choose a better path. So I know you're capable of doing that. And on docket number 791, on count 3, 12 months in the Ingham County Jail with credit for 1 day served. And on this docket, you have to pay $130 to the Crime Victims Fund, $136 in state cost to the county in the amount of $250, based on the State Court Administrative Office calculated average cost of a criminal case in Ingham County. And on count 4, you're committed to the custody of the Michigan Department of Corrections for a period not less than 24 months nor more than 24 months. And you receive 1 day credit on that as well. And that runs concurrently or at the same time as count 3. And on docket 792, 1 day in jail with credit for 1 day served, you have to pay $130 to the Crime Victims Fund, $68 in state costs, and cost to the county in the amount of $250 based on the State Court Administrative Office calculated average cost of a criminal case in Ingham County. And Mr. Crusoe, you have the right to file an application for leave to appeal your conviction and your sentence in this matter.
Pardon me?
You have the right to appeal your conviction and your sentence. You have the right also to ask for a lawyer to help you. If you're making that request for an appeal and a lawyer, you have to start it by filling out this form, and you have to do it within 42 days. That time period starts running from today, so we'll make sure you have that form in hand as you walk out of here, okay? Good luck.
Will I have another chance to talk to him before I?
Well, just for 1 second right now, but otherwise you're in the custody of the sheriff.
Go do this all over again. I'm straight.
Just
Okay.
I think
You
we're on
are
site.
remanded to the custody.
Okay, I appreciate you. Have a good one.
Sure,
this
you
way?
too. Good luck.
Thank you.
Just so you know, those are 2 different pieces of paper.